That's not 100% right, because one, these machines are effective.
But not efficient.
They're also efficient. The only problem is the shelf life is 5 years. So if you have the money, you can keep them. We don't have that sort of money, number
so
one.
why do we keep using them? This is the question.
Because if you had the money, you can afford 7 billion or 8 billion every election cycle, and you increase it with the next election, you're in sour. Then you throw them away as junk. Your problem will be junk disposal. How do you manage that? That will be your problem. But if your problem is money fast, then you must now be more careful. Two, you don't buy equipment every time, and you know very well that you don't inform the developments of that equipment. You have no say. You are told we have got this new version. Like you showed me your phone.
Yeah.
If your phone is, is Apple, they will tell you now we have brought Apple this, next time Apple this. You have no say. Right? That is fine for you using a phone. But for election, it's not like that. Now, why did we, because now you brought it to me that we bought, which is true we did. The Curricular Commission, there was something called Curricular Commission report.
Yes, it was.
And the Curricular Commission report was instituted to look into the election of 2007. One of the recommendations of the Curricular Commission report was that there should be digitization of the electoral process. Specifically, the digitization of the voter register. That was very critical. Curricular also recommended the digitization of the results transmission. And they came up with this called spontaneous results transmission. So that if you are in a polling station and you have 55,000 polling stations, immediately the results are announced, all these results are uploaded on one source. That was the recommendation that was drawn from the Curricular Commission report. But Curricular was responding to the situation of 2007. We have long passed the situation of 2007. Now, we cannot move, for example, in 2013 with the attitude and mentality of what happened in 2007. So we have to move forward. The problem is, this is a conversation which we are having every electoral cycle. After an election is done in Kenya, everybody keeps quiet. Nobody talks about this thing until when the next election is due. I think this is something that a conversation that we should be having in the first 2-3 years after an election, so that a decision is made. If we are doing an election in 2027, by law, we should be able to establish, are we going to have these machines or we are going to require new ones? And that should be done 2 years immediately after an election is done. After election is done, there is something they call post-election evaluation. So once that post-evaluation is done, and there are issues or changes to be done, that should be done earlier. Now we are talking about it at this particular stage. IEBC is telling you we need these machines to run these elections in 12 months' time. If you say no, they might well come back, well, we delivered an unsatisfactory election because you didn't provide the money.
So that's what I'm saying. But it sounds as though it's designed from the very beginning to do just that you've said. So we're going to hold them by the short and curlies, and then we're going to say, well, you know what? Any conversation that has been had in this room, Major, we've talked since the last 2 years about a cheaper option for an election in this country. It has been a conversation that has been ongoing, but you know what? It's ignored until the last minute when IEBC goes before Parliament and says, well, you know what? Pony up 61.7 billion shillings for us to deliver an election. If you don't, then we're going to come back to you and say, but we told you to do this and you didn't. Do you see? Not that the conversation is not being had, but the conversation is being actively ignored until you get to crunch time, which leads us back to what I've said. Is it by design? Because if I was really invested in delivering an optimal, effective and efficient election, guess what I'm doing? I'm listening to views During the cycle, I'm listening to views and I'm saying, okay, what can we do? Not after the fact. You've already spent the money. You've already thrown the machine away. So if somebody can have the conversation, but if you're not listening and or implementing, this is where we have the problem. And it's not about to go away. I think we need to rise to that reality, that it's not about to go away until you have listening, actively engaged parties. It's not just about running an election and saying, okay, well, let's fill in all the holes, but are you actually invested in optimizing the experience? And I think for the last 10, 15, 30 years, it's not been done. So who is going to bell the cat to say, come on, Kim's kit that we spend 7 billion shillings on and then we throw it away after 5 years? It's a no-brainer, James. Throw it away? It doesn't make sense to anyone. So why is it so difficult to make that decision?
That attitude permeates other aspects of IEBC. Mm-hmm. So you don't blame IEBC. Let me tell you why you don't blame IEBC. One, when the political class wants IEBC to do something, they don't have any hesitation. Mm-hmm. They will go to this NADCO 1, NADCO 2, NADCO 20, and they'll make resolutions that affect IEBC. IEBC did not initiate this NADCO process. I think they just called there as a resource
spectator.
Person, as a resource person. Mm-hmm. Take, for example, between 2018 and 2022, do you know that for all that part, IEBC was run by Chebukati and 2 other commissioners. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For almost 4 years, IEBC did not have the 8 commissioners that it should have. It had 2, chairman and 2, for 4 years. The government recruited the last commissioners 1 year, less than 1 year before the election of 2022. Whose responsibility was that? Chebukati, who was the chairperson of IEBC, wrote a letter or a memo, sometimes, I think, just before the election of 2017. And he was complaining